The headline reads, Bank apologizes for calling police on black man trying to cash his paycheck. CNN, an African-American man who couldn't cash his paycheck at a Huntington bank in Brooklyn, Ohio, says the staff was judging him. Paul McCown's 30 told CNN affiliate WOIO he recently got a new job and was trying to cash his first paycheck earlier this month, but the tellers wouldn't cash the check, which was just over $1,000. Although McCown didn't specify he was being racially profiled, social media has picked up on the hashtag banking while black upon hearing about the incident. The hashtag is very similar to those seen in the past, such as hashtag barbecuing while black, hashtag babysitting while black, and hashtag campaigning while black, which were coined after a white person called the police on black people while they were seen doing day-to-day activities. As he was leaving the bank empty-handed, McCown's was met by Brooklyn police, handcuffed and placed in the back of the cruiser. When McCown's asked what was happening, the officer said the bank's teller had called 911. I have a customer here. He's not our customer, actually. He's trying to cash a check, and the check is fraudulent. It does not match our records, a bank employee said on a recording on the 911 call obtained by CNN. McCown's doesn't bank with Huntington, and its staff was not able to reach his employer at first, but he followed bank protocol and provided the tellers with 2 forms of identification and a fingerprint. The bank still declined to cash his check. It was highly embarrassing, McCown's told WOIO. The person who made that phone call, the manager, that teller, whoever made that phone call, I feel as though they were judging. The Brooklyn Police Department said in a statement that McCown's was released once officers reached his employer and confirmed with the account holder the check was valid.
So that's funny is we've experienced that in the past when we were doing checks at one point, like for my business. And Bank of America wouldn't, like, okay, this is funny. So I go in in the morning to deposit money for the checks, like the payroll, and I'm there with my manager at the time, and he's trying to cash his check, and his check's like over $1,000, and they wouldn't cash his check. They're like, we have to check to see if it's like, literally, I'm standing in the lobby. I came in with him. We're both wearing Rainy Day Ice Cream shirts, and they were like having to verify that his check was good, and then the signatures matched, and like all this nonsense, like one excuse after another. I'm like, I'm right here. My name's on the account. I'm the business owner. Give him the money. Like, I literally just gave you like $15,000 in cash 20 seconds ago. Like, really? Like, it was like this. That's why we left that bank. That was Bank of America, by the way.
Right.
So fuck Bank of America.
That doesn't surprise me. That doesn't surprise me at all.
That's one of the reasons we left. We're like, fuck you. We're closing the account. Like, we're closing our business account.
I have heard so many horror stories about Bank of America. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, Bank of America and U.S. Bank. You couldn't pay me money to bank with either of those pieces of shit.
In this article, to continue, it says, according to police statement, the bank branch has had more than 10 arrests for fraudulent checks since July 18th, and a bank representative told WOIO that was why the tellers were being, quote-unquote, hyper-vigilant.
Or racist.
I wonder how many of those fraudulent checks that people were arrested for, how many of them were black people?
Probably all of them, or there might be like 30% Mexican in there.
I'm just curious.
Or Hispanic. Sorry.
I'd like to see those statistics.
There's probably one, because you have to have one white guy or girl. You have to have some sort of diversity.
Yeah.
So, you know, they got profile diversity.
Did you read Defense Secretary Jim Mattis's goodbye letter? No. His resignation letter?
No, I was gonna bring up satellites that the FCC just fined this telecommunication company, well, their internet company that just shot satellites into space, and they didn't have permission to shoot satellites in space. So the FCC fined them $900 million. Or no, 900,000. 900,000, I meant to say. Yeah. Wow.
I do think fault lies with tellers not being properly trained. And I get that it's not uncommon to need to verify authenticity of checks, but when somebody has 2 forms of ID, gives their fingerprint, you could obviously say we can't get a hold of you. Don't have an account with us. We can't get a hold of your employer at this time. Try back later. To call the police and have the person handcuffed when they walk out of the bank, that's a little excessive.
Since when did they start calling the employer to verify?
It's really not that uncommon anymore. Just because bank fraud is so common. Check fraud is very common.
I'm trying to think if I ever got a call, maybe once.
To verify?
Yeah. And what's funny that same thing kept happening to Jason, the manager that we had at the time. It had he would go into different banks to try to cash his check, and it would be like this 30-minute ordeal.
Why didn't he just open an account?
Because he didn't want an account with Bank of America. He's like, I don't want an account with you because you guys suck ass. Just cash my check. I'm out of Bank of America. It's your check. I don't blame him. I wouldn't want a personal account in Bank of America.
Heidi said typically what's supposed to happen is the employer is supposed to upload a file of check numbers to the bank. I didn't know that. Well,
we got our checks from the bank, so.
Right, but probably a file of written checks.
Oh.
Like how much was
they
written,
they never asked us for that.
I've never seen them ask for that either, but.
I mean, maybe that's probably more for bigger businesses, I would think.
Yeah.
But maybe.